we're back with another tutorial in this one more time. All right,
You
ready?
suck.
For all the products I use in this video, I'll put a link in the description so you guys can purchase them. Before we start with the haircut, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna debulk the sides using a number 2 guard. And I'm gonna have the lever all the way closed, and we're not gonna go up so high because I wanna keep the sides dark. And since it's a mid drop, I want the back to be darker. Since I'm doing a mid-drop fade, you can kind of tell that I'm dropping it in the back, so this way it can stay longer in the back, and we're gonna leave the sides longer too, and we're just gonna blend it in. Okay. So this is how it should look for the mid-drop fade. We're gonna be clipper over combing the rest of the weight to blend it to the top of his hair. I went up at least like 1.5 inches on the sides, and then we just dropped it all the way down. Okay, so now we're gonna clipper over comb, and I got the lever fully closed. And when doing any type of clipper over comb, guys, you don't wanna dig in. You kind of want to dig in but bring it out as well. And as soon as we keep going higher and higher, we're going to be coming out more, so we don't make it just like flat, and we can give them a round look. To know how high to go up when you're clipper over combing is once you notice that it's starting to blend into the top. And with the comb, guys, like I said, you want to bring it out. So as soon as I keep going to the top, I'm just bringing it out so I can get those hairs that are sticking out still. And that way it could blend into the top. Now we're going to do some scissor work on the top to give it that crop look. His hair on top right now is at least 2.5 inches long. So I'll be taking off like about 1 inch. All right, so now that I'm combing his hair down, guys, to cut it, you want to make sure for the calic that you're making it lay towards the direction it goes. So that way, once we're done cutting it, it doesn't stick out even more. That's how it should look. All right, so now we're gonna take 1 inch off the top. I always like to start in the middle And like I said, we're gonna take an inch off. Now that I created my guideline, I know how much to cut off. Now I got my guideline and I know how much to cut. And now I could go from my left side and I could tell where I need to cut and how much. And I just continue to follow that same guideline that we created in the middle to the left and the right side to have the top even. We're gonna add texture to the top of the hair. I'm gonna apply more water because we want the surface to be wet. Now from one side to the other side, we're gonna go diagonally to add the texture. And remember to do the same step on the other side or else the hair on top will look choppy and we don't want that. We just wanna add that textured, messy look. Whenever I'm adding the texture, guys, I'm not chomping on the hair. I'm lightly pressing on it just to cut a little bit at a time. So now I'm gonna use my clipper to create my guideline. I do have my clipper zero gap, so I'm just gonna go in about an inch up high. And normally I would use my trimmer, but this would be faster since it's already zero gap and it'll go super close. Remember to drop it in the back. I'll show you how to do it right now. Look down. Look down. Now that I have my guideline, I'm gonna open up my lever slightly and go up about half an inch. Because I need to look down at it. Now that I went up half an inch, guys, remember I did this all the way around and I had my lever slightly open, and now I'm gonna open it all the way and continue the same steps all around the head. Go down a little bit. Once I'm done with the lever all the way open, I went up 1/2 inch high, and now I'm gonna use my half guard with the lever closed. And still gonna go up 1/2 inch. And down a little bit. All right, now I'm gonna have my lever slightly open, and for new beginners, if you have trouble cutting around the ear, I like to use my middle finger to help me put the ear down so it's not in the way. These are different angles that I use. Now I'm gonna open up my lever all the way open. I'm still using my half guard, and I was just gonna say, whenever I get towards the back, I use the corner of my blade to help me blend in the sides right here, so that way you could give it that drop effect. Now I got my one guard on with the lever fully closed. We're still doing the exact same steps, and we're going up 1/2 inch. And also remember to use the corner of your blade. Go down a little bit. Put your head down, Evan. Now that I'm done using my one guard all the way open, I move on to clipper over comb, and I'm just gonna be using more of my corner right here and following the shape of the head to blend it all out. Now I'm gonna use my trimmer just to get rid of the stubble that's still left behind, followed up with my shaver to give it a more skin tight fade. Now I'm going to use my clipper just to smoothen out the line I did with the shaver. Now I'm gonna line up the C-cup area right there with a comb in hand just to comb down any little stubble, using the corner of your trimmer just to help you give a better outline for the C-cup. So now we're gonna be lining them up, but we're just gonna keep the top so we can give them that messy cropped look, but we're gonna comb it up. We're gonna use our comb to pick up the hair, line them up from the bottom. I'm gonna use my thinning shears, guys, help it blend in a little bit smoother. And I'm just gonna use my comb and clean it up. So for the final look, we're gonna use some styling powder to give it that messy look. And now that we added texture, it's gonna make it look even better. And you wanna apply it evenly throughout the head. Now that we applied it evenly throughout the head, guys, this is kind of like if you're using gel or something, but it's like powder form. But I'm gonna use my hands right now just to mix it all in. It does help give the hair some volume. After I applied the styling powder, I'm gonna add some paste, and this will help it get that spiky look that I'm going for. Just apply it everywhere. Use this comb now to help me spiken out the hair a little bit more. And then with my fingers, I'm gonna make it more spiky. Sheesh. The comb will help you divide the hairs evenly through the front. It does take some time, but it looks clean too. Now with my fingers, I'm just gonna fluff it up a little bit. So this is the final product. I used some styling powder and some paste, and just with my fingers, I was able to kind of mess with it to give it that cropped look with the texture on the top. Look down. And now shake